Mr. Zuck Macabre, you rebranded, but did you make your products more repairable? This cost me $199 and it's a MetaQuest 3 I bought from eBay. I repaired the MetaQuest 2 not too long ago and it drove me absolutely insane. So I'm hoping this one is a little bit better. I had my cameraman open this because, well, I wanted to make sure I got what I got because eBay. This is it. It's supposed to have a broken right display. But we also have a broken, I think that's the microphone under there. The glass is broken here. Looks like it's been vandalized, probably by a child. And let's check out that display. What the hell happened to this MetaQuest 3? We'll remove this because it smells really bad and I don't want that anywhere near my face. Now we're gonna go ahead and press and hold the power button. Oh. Okay, so it does seem to be working. It's just dead right now. So despite the scratches being on the display still works. We'll also check to see if it's charging, and it is. We are gonna actually replace the battery as well, because we did that last time with the MetaQuest 2, and that was a very difficult repair for a device that has to be serviced. So let's see how we can open this up. Right off the bat, it looks like we can remove this rubber seal, use our Jimmy tool, unclip that. So right here is the proximity sensor, but it's probably not attached to this. I've actually had 2 of these devices fail on me after I was VR boxing, and Meta did replace them, but the same failure happened twice. So I need to refine my skills with the MetaQuest 3 in terms of repairs so that when I do inevitably have a customer, I can repair their thing without experimenting on their device. Inevitably. And there we go. Hello. We may be able to take these off as well. So there's a bunch of screws we need to remove, but just like the Oculus Quest 2 or MetaQuest 2, we have to unscrew the ones corresponding to the plate over here, basically keeping it in place. The thing about these devices is if you don't have a screwdriver that's long and skinny, you won't be able to repair this. Unscrew and unscrew again. This screwdriver is just barely fitting. Definitely gonna need a longer screwdriver, which we have right here. So some people do actually polish this display, and sometimes that works, but in this case, it's really messed up, so we can't do that. We'll go ahead and unscrew the rest of the Phillips screws, and now we can open it up. That is the MetaQuest 3. It looks pretty similar to the MetaQuest 2, but there are some key differences. The sensors obviously are now connected to the front panel here, which kind of sucks because making a transparent mod would be a little bit more difficult. Aside from that, the rest of it looks pretty similar. The fan placement, the antenna placement, all pretty similar. While we're unscrewing, quick word from sponsor. This is the Red Magic 10 Pro, and it's one of the coolest phones I've seen in a long time. Literally, the cooling on this phone is insane. Inside the box, you get a fast charger, a USB-C cable, and all the essentials. This is actually my first time seeing a Red Magic phone in person, and I've got to say, it's impressive. First off, we have capacitive triggers over here that make it feel like a controller when you're gaming. Add in the transparent design, and it looks as good as it plays. There's even an exhaust for the fan to keep everything cool, and an audio jack. Let's go. The display is absolutely stunning. It's super bright with ultra thin bezels, and the 7050 milliamp hour battery means you can play for hours without stopping. There's even an under display front camera. This is all powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, LPDDR5T RAM, and UFS 4.x storage. It's the smoothest and most comfortable gaming experience I've ever had on a phone. If you're an Epic gamer or you just want a phone that does it all, click the link in the description and grab your Red Magic 10 Pro now. Trust me, you won't want to miss out. The screw went inside the... What the hell? Having a hard time keeping track of what goes where already, not gonna lie. Now we can disconnect this antenna and continue unscrewing, but before we do that, we can actually remove these cables, which are adhered down here. Thanks Meta for doing that. And disconnect that one and disconnect that one. To keep things organized, we're going to switch PRG mats. They're sold out right now, but they will be back up soon. Now we must continue. We're going to unscrew this white frame thing at the front that holds the heatsink and maybe the fan. There's also... The f is that? Meta is doing some red magic. Because there is a hole over here, which is for whatever this is. But when you turn this around, you genuinely cannot see it on this side, but it's there on that side. It's probably an IR sensor or an LED or something. Honestly, I don't really know. We'll find out once we dig deeper. These screws suck because they're not magnetic and I have to pull them out with my tweezers every time. Now we should be able to remove this, and it does look to be an LED. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect everything. Now we can remove the fan, pull it out. That is our little fan. This MetaQuest 3 is surprisingly clean, which is nice because the outside wasn't at all. Check it out. We have Meta's logo here instead of the Oculus logo. That's a first. We'll go ahead and unscrew all the screws on the board. So far, this hasn't actually been too bad, but I credit that to my experience with this device, with the MetaQuest 2. If I was opening this up for the first time, I probably would not be happy at all. And remove. It looks like the battery is in the same place it was with the MetaQuest 2, and I understand why for weight distribution, but they should at least have an access point where you can actually get to the battery without having to remove everything, because batteries need to be replaced. That's something we know. Ooh, nice. Now we just removed the MetaQuest 3 board. So most of the major components are obviously shielded under these shields, but we can see what I believe to be the NAND. Overall though, this board should be really easy to repair. All the components are easily accessible. The thing is though, Meta doesn't provide any schematics or any repair guides, so you're on your own when it comes to diagnosing it. We're getting very close to that right display, but first we have to remove this metal plate. This is probably what shields the battery. Now we can go ahead and remove the metal plate, and it looks like we're greeted by the battery. So they did somewhat relocate the battery by changing its position, but it's still extremely difficult to reach. You have to remove everything to get to it, and because we're replacing the display, we might as well replace the battery. We'll go ahead and unscrew again, and it looks like they're taking a page out of the Apple Vision Pro's book because they have some hex nut screws. Thankfully, we have the right screwdriver for it, so we can go ahead and unscrew. I'll put a link to these screwdrivers in the description. If you're doing this yourself, it'll make your life a little bit easier. And now we should be able to just pull up on the battery like that. And of course, we have another plate. So if we take a look down here, you can actually see the gears that move the displays around based on your pupillary distance. I hope I'm seeing that right. I hope we don't have to remove them because this looks complicated, but let's see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew like I have been this entire video. I thought we were finally unscrewing the display, but we were actually unscrewing the midframe, and now we can remove it. With that gone, there are more screws to unscrew. Finally. We can finally remove the displays. Holy crap. I thought it was going to be easy after the first few steps, but then this part came and damn. There's 2 more screws holding in the display, and now the right display just came right off. Thank God we don't have to take this whole thing apart. So we were able to get our hands on the right display and everything else we needed except this guy. So what we did was we actually hit up another YouTube channel called Fix My Oculus, and they sent over a replacement part. You guys should check them out. They have great replacement guides, and they also sell the parts. They're one of the only places I could find parts for this device. The link will be in the description for that. There's 2 more screws holding in the display, which we can remove, and it's now released from the tracks. We can reinstall that to our new display, as well as this connector, which is stuck on the old display. There we go. And we're going to stick the connector on first over here, and we'll just reuse the same copper tape for the environment, not because we don't have any more. Now we're gonna go ahead and slap this guy in. Goes right over here. And boom, just like that, the display has been replaced, but we still have a lot to do. We have to replace the battery and replace this faceplate cover. So we're just gonna fast forward to the battery because I'm in pain now. I don't know if the battery comes with this bracket, so let's find out. And it doesn't, so we have to put it inside the bracket. We'll heat up the adhesive to remove the old battery. There's so much tape on this frame. Remove the battery, place the new battery in the frame, and we're going to secure it with some electrical tape. Now we'll screw it into place. And we have the battery on. I really hope this still works because my brain is not working. Too many screws in this device. It's time to use the gift from Fix My Oculus. We could take this and we could take that. And we have to unscrew everything here and transfer everything over. Hopefully it's all still working despite it being cracked. That includes the left cameras, the time of flight sensor that's also attached to the microphone. Now we can transfer over the right cameras. And there we go. The faceplate is all together. And this MetaQuest 3 is ready to be tested. Will it still work? I don't know, but take a look at that. It looks pretty clean for a device that's been ripped apart. We have the MetaQuest all ready to be tested and set up, and now is a good time to mention that I'm actually giving this away to one of you guys. All you have to do is comment your Instagram handle, and this could be yours. Anyway, let's go ahead and test this guy out. We had it charged up, so let's see if everything is working. And so far, so good. Let's give this a good test. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything seems like it's working. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the metaverse again. Peace.